Namam Vishnupadaya Krishna Krishna Bhutale Srimati Bhaktivedanta Swami Namane Namaste Saraswati Devi Gaurvani Pracharine Nidvisesha Sunyavadi Pasyachari Sitarini Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasari Gaur Bhaktivinoda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Ram 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 Hare Hare Śivarāma ki jai. We are on just finishing up a little on verse number 10. And it was progressing on memorization. Ladies are anybody, Krishna. Anybody, Ryan, very good. Sorry, that's nice. And Maharaj is going to keep to next door. What was the bhajan you sang?
Today we didn't sing.
No.
Because I thought you were coming in.
That's what I was going to do. Okay, let's do this responsibly. Verse 10. Ratim Gauri Nile Api Tapati Sundar Yakiranai Shachi Lakshmi Satya Paribhavati Shobhagya Balanai Vashikaras Chandra Valimukana Vrajasati Kshitaradya Tam Hari Doita Radham Bhajamana Mahatmya. What is the greatness that you have? Navadvita Mahatmya, you have Mathura Mahatmya, you have Harinam Mahatmya. There are so many Mahatmya, or praising the glories of someone, some place, something. And here we're hearing about the praises of Srimati Radharani. We've already heard a lot over the years, glorification of Krishna. And as I mentioned yesterday, Krishna is a public figure. He is the face of the absolute truth that we present to the world. But Srimati Radharani is the aspect of the absolute truth that if we talk about in very philosophical terms. Parasya Shaktir Vividhai Vishnuyate. Who's that girl beside Krishna? That is the personification of Krishna's pleasure potency. We don't even get into the gopi. We don't want to mention the word to non-devotees. And I remember that I had two encounters. One was, I think must have been university in Bristol, just water. And there's a lot of coffees over here. You know how good that is. Bristol, and I don't know whether it was comparative religions or Hinduism or and one of the students brought up this thing about, he read about Krishna and the gopis and how he's having these extramarital relationships. And I said, these are just literary embellishments, but they're not actual historical events in fact. Otherwise, but even on tech was saying that, the hells don't really exist, 28 hells don't exist, they're just like sort of there to, in the Bhagavatam, just to scare people. But, and so once when I was in a home program, and some man somehow or another had read about the same topic. It's very unpleasant because they, in their minds, although they're always doing it, everyone else can have sex, but God can't. So if he's doing it, it must be something bad. If they're doing it, it's good. I don't know how the logic works, but that's how they're thinking. And so this idea, even devotees have difficulty with this concept that Prabhupada says, where do you think it comes from? Ultimately, everything comes from God. But one has to be a Goswami who's given up all desires for a sex life in order to actually understand something, because yes, here it is, no matter how much we indulge in it, ultimately it's a low thing and it's very hard to understand how there it is something very high. Let's not even talk about it. So, it is talk about Śrimati Radharani and devotional terms to non-devotees can get very, very messy, or at least leave people with a lot of unanswered questions. Therefore, best always that type of answer that, so that they can logically digest and move on. But for Vaishnavas, for devotees who have strong faith in the transcendental nature of Krishna and Krishna's pastimes, who themselves are sense-controlled, then yes, Radha Mahatmya. And Raghunath Das Goswami here is dedicating some of this book, as Srila Prabhupada calls these songs or verses, and should know something about Śrimati Radharani. Just back to this idea, there is this what's the Shastra called? What's it called? Where they feed Goswami's buried scripture. Huh? Grant Samadhi. So the Goswamis wrote some books, but they didn't think them suitable. And I'm never going to find out what's in those books, although no doubt people are very curious. If anything's, if you're not supposed to read something, then that's the best way of publicizing something, is say that it's banned and everybody in the world will buy it. So, but they wrote some things, but then they decided that it shouldn't become, it's not suitable. Means it necessarily wasn't even suitable just to be around. Because maybe it was suitable for some very advanced devotees, but that means it will also fall into the hands of so many other types of devotees. And Jiva Goswami points out right at the end of his Bhakti Sandarbha that if your mind is disturbed by hearing of any of these exchanges between Krishna and the gopis, then just stop. And Srila Prabhupada also said like that, and stop it. Just wait until you're suitably mature. But still, they exist, and to understand these things from at least a point of view of philosophy, to understand them from a very, in Srila Prabhupada's methodology, the way he wrote in this very sort of innocent and uncompromising language. Uncompromising is that you don't become compromised by reading it. So there we can. And here, this is also same thing. So we're hearing this Mahatmya about Srimati Radharani, Srimati Radharani's now actual greatness. In short, we're hearing is that she's greater than goddesses, than Lakshmis, which means any female within the material creation. And of course, the understanding is, as we said yesterday, well, of course, because they are just partial expansions of her. So that doesn't mean that women here are expansions of Radharani, but their feminine potency is, because where does the potency come from? So Krishna says, of sharks, of aquatics, I am the shark. Of birds, I am Garuda, and so on and so on and so on. So of the gamblers, I'm the cheat, right? I'm cheaters, I'm the gambler. And so that means that what is, where is that cheating propensity? That's also coming. It's a Shakti, it's a potency. It also comes from Srimati Radharani. And the most telling thing here is that while he's describing, comparing other women, including Chandravali, but the bottom line is this: her ability to control Krishna completely. Because ultimately, who can completely control Krishna? So what is it that controls Krishna? Well, love controls Krishna. Okay, now we're trying to wake up a little love. Devotees are controlled by Krishna. Even whatever little love we have, that controls Krishna, but proportionately. You got 1% love, then you control Krishna 1%. So, but if you have 100% love, And that love is so powerful, so pure, so exhilarating, that it fully controls Krishna. Krishna is fully under Radharani's control. So Srila Prabhupada writes in Chaitanya Charitamrita that Radharani is Krishna's plaything. Krishna is Radharani's plaything. So plaything is like, some toy. You play with a toy, you throw it over there, you play with it again, you do something, and so whatever you do. So similarly, Krishna is like that, because this is this extraordinary feature of God, is that He is loving. Very often you talk to people about what God is. Sometimes people will say, well, God is love. So they're saying that the experience of love is God, which is not really right. The real thing is that God is loving, and the experience with Him, that's love. So Krishna is he is asamurga. No one's equal to Him. No one's greater than Him. Ajita Jita Trashtirukyam. So He is Ajita. You can't conquer Him. You can't conquer Him with your mind. You can't conquer Him with your senses. You can't conquer Him with tricks. You can't, Hiranyakashipu, that was his thing. All right, I'll beat death. Death means the law of God. So I'll beat God by tricks. But anyway, He is the gambling. No, He is
amongst cheating, He's gambling.
Amongst cheating, He is gambling. But anyway, He's the ultimate cheater, because cheating comes from Him also. Everything comes. So, this ability to control Krishna shows how great Srimati Radharani is. And the important feature of Gaudiya Vaishnavas, which is something that devotees aren't necessarily inclined to accept so easily until they progress further in Krishna consciousness. And that is that, throughout our lives we're talking that we are Nitya Krishna Das, we are eternal servants of Krishna. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu points that out, that we are actually not really Nitya Krishna Das, but we are Dasa Dasa Anudas, that we are servants of the servants of the servant. That's what it means to be Nitya Krishna Das. No one is going to be a direct servant of Krishna. All those spots are long filled. So no one's going to become a servant of Krishna. We're going to become a servant of the servant of the servant of Krishna. And you become a servant of Nanda Yashoda, you become a servant of Nandamara, a servant of Balaram, you become a servant of Sridham, Subal, Srimati Radharani, Chandrava, and so on. So that our Gaudiya line, after all of these efforts of proving Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead and we are His servants, that we're not competitors to God, say that actually our real dedication and our real focus is Srimati Radharani as the Das who we are serving. And we become the Andas. So we become the servant of that servant. And that not only is it that we talk about prema, that we're trying to awaken love for Krishna. Of course, we're awakening love for Krishna, but awakening love for Krishna means awakening love for his associates, that in a very transcendental sense, advanced devotees will even have somewhat more love for Radharani than Krishna. So these are the teachings of Goswamis. It is what it means to actually be Krishna conscious and to be a devotee of Krishna. It's a topic which is for devotees, for Gaudiya Vaishnavas, and this ability for Radha to control Krishna shows her greatness, and therefore Srila Prabhupada said, and the best way to serve Krishna. So who's the best servant to serve Krishna? Is to serve through Srimati Radharani. Well, isn't it good to serve through Lord Balaram? Sure. If that happens to be someone's inclination, but serving Krishna through Lord Balaram only facilitates the exhibition of servitude and fraternity. There's no way of serving Krishna conjugally, there's no way of serving Krishna paternally. Only through Radha does actually all of these other means of serving Krishna manifest, because as Lord Chaitanya explains to Rupa Goswami, that all of the characteristics of the other mellows are present in this Madhurya Ras. So there is neutrality, which is awe of Krishna. There is servitude, of which there are two types, inside Gorka, outside Gorka, inside Vrindavan, outside Vrindavan, but there is the attitude of being a servant, servitude, and Krishna's greatness. And that in friendship there's intimacy, and aside from intimacy there's servitude and also greatness. There are also two different types of friendship. Then there is the parental, and the parental also has the other qualities, and the conjugal has all the qualities. Therefore, through conjugal service, Krishna is served the most completely, and although there may be other gopis, well, there may be other Shaktis, who, by Shakti, I mean that there are Lakshmis, that there are queens, and then there are gopis. So you can serve through other gopis, but she's the only one who actually completely controls and relates to Krishna. So therefore, complete service only goes through Radha. Chandravali is the next in terms of, and there are other gopis, of course, in terms of the queens. The queens have a partially, they're bound. They still want to follow the principles of Dharma while having Krishna as their husband serving. And that is a lesser mood than willing to cross over the Dharma Setu, the bridges of Dharma. And then the Lakshmis are completely in awe and reverence. And then after that, they're not even serving any form of Krishna. There are other other aspects of Lakshmi who serve other incarnations. So Radha Mahatmya, knowing about the greatness of Radharani and understanding that, yes, this is the direction that we go. I don't need to get into excessive detail. Just know that, yes, this is Mahajana Jivana Gata Sapanta. This is the path of the Mahajans. Therefore we are Rupanugas, Rupa Goswami, Sanatana Goswami Ji, Bande Rupa Sanatana, all of them, all of our acharyas. All, therefore, and what do we do? We're meant to be following acharyas. So, sadhu bhagmanagama, we follow these sadhus, we follow the path that they have chalked out. And so, Vaishnavas follow this path, which now Raghunath Das Goswami is making very clear. When Srila Prabhupada talks about just searching different books, Prabhupada's books, and Prabhupada always writes if someone has an attraction to this mellow or to that mellow, to friendship, to parental love and so on, or if they're attracted to Vaikuntha. So Rupa Goswami also, Bhakti Goswami Sindhu, is very, teaches the broad principles. But there's the broad principles, and then you have to see, but then what did they do? What do they do? What is actually their path, and what does more or less everybody who follows them do? So one thing is, sure, there's so many unlimited Vaikuntha planets. But here, Raghunath Das Goswami says, well, write them off. Don't develop excessively, keep it respectful, Lord Narayan. You know that he exists. You know that he's Krishna's expansion and so many things, but that's not where we're going to go, and he's not our Ishtadev. So, same thing. Ultimately, what we're seeing here is Raghunath Das Goswami is very clearly just telling us, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna, Radha Krishna. It's very, very black and white. As already said earlier, we will engage me in Sri Radha's service. Same thing. Over here, we should worship. Here, that we should also worship. We should worship Lord Hari's beloved Radha. So how will we worship her? One thing is that we have days like Radhastami and so on, or deities and you dress them. But the best way to worship Srimati Radharani is to spread Krishna's glories, is to preach. That's why this is a Krishna consciousness movement. She is Krishna consciousness personified, and it is the desire of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. We had Chaitanya Mahaprabhu once, that in every town and village Krishna's name should be chanted. So Srimati Radharani is saying just as much. She's saying these things that yes, we should chant Krishna's name. We should glorify Krishna. People should worship Krishna. And that is how we'll actually get Srimati Radharani's blessings, her mercy, and ability to engage in her service. We'll hear a little over. Tomorrow I'll be on time, and tomorrow we'll start verse 11, Radha Mahatmya, and mind in order to attain direct service of the lover Sri Śivarāma Giritari, who are surrounded by their friends. Every day you must drink with Sri Rupa Goswami 5 nectars, worshipping them, chanting their names, meditating on them, hearing about them, and bowing down before them. And every day you must worship Govardhan Hill. Now he's giving us a sadhana, and we've got to check off to make sure, are we doing this sadhana? Anyway. Jai Śrīla Prabhupada ki jai, Manaḥ-śikṣā Swami ki jai, Sri Radha Damodar ki jai, Nitai Gaur Premanande.